food and drink and travel, it does change your life if you
It does.
let it in.
And the travel aspect of it, inside the United States, outside the United States, you talked about like the realness, and you kind of wanted to check yourself. You can't fake, because we're talking about the narrative and all that stuff. You can't fake 500 years of going to 500 years of history where you're in Florence and you go to a coffee shop and you're sitting there eating X, Y, Z, and his father always cooked it, but it was taught by his father's 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 father. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just family. You can't.
I know.
You can't fake that.
Right.
Nor can you replicate it.
Hey friends, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We're your hosts and resident foodies and lovers of all things travel and exploration.
Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and enjoy the journey with us.
Paul, welcome to the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We are really excited to have you. When I heard about your story and your what sounded to be incredible restaurants, but also some of your recent travels and things, I knew I wanted to talk to you because it just sounds like you have been so inspired by not only, your heritage and culture, but some of the travels. And that is what we are all about here on this podcast. So very happy to have you and just a warm welcome to you.
No, truly blessed. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And actually see you, since we're out where we can look at each other.
I know, right? Finally. And then we are also both in the Bay Area of the San Francisco Bay Area. So we're kind of neighbors too. So anyone here listening who might be in the Bay Area, definitely check out Paul's restaurants, which we will get to here in a moment. But I love to start these off with you just telling us a little bit about yourself. So again, we will get into all of your culinary endeavors here in a moment, but just any fun facts, anything that can just help listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, fun facts. I grew up in the DC area, so Washington D.C. I went to school in Bethesda, Maryland. Went to played sports at a pretty high level. American football. So it was kind of like, it's really funny because when I talk about myself, we're like, wait, you were a jock? And it's like, yeah, I was a jock, but I definitely always was around food.
Yeah.
And the cool little quick tidbit about myself is that my mother was an art history professor. She taught at the University of Maryland.
Beautiful.
So from a young age, she taught me about life, art, as well as cooking from like age 5. So that really starts to create the foundation of my story.
Very cool. So this really goes way back for you.
Way back. Yeah. Way back. As a Colombian American, my heritage is I'm Colombian. I also have some Salvadorian heritage as well on my father's side, and I guess American. I don't even know what you would say at this.
Yeah. We're all just melting pot here.
My wife's like, you should never say this. And I'm like, say what? She's like, what you say to people. I'm like, what is that? She's like, the fact that you're 16th generation American. I was like, well, it's true, but only in one part, right?
Right, exactly. That's funny. Well, let's start there then, actually. Like, can you just talk to me a little bit about your Colombian heritage, or any parts of your heritage really that you'd like to talk about, and just how that has influenced, we'll get to the restaurants and your cooking and everything, but just how has that influenced you just overall?
I think that's very simple. If you think of, if for me, when I think about things, I think about the fact that it's like, it's love. Every aspect of my story started with love. And it started with my Colombian grandfather falling in love at first sight in 1943 in Alabama with his gonna-be wife. And then they ended up having 14 children. My mother was the oldest of the 14. And that's kind of where it started. So you have to, so then obviously picture, I was born in the United States. My mother was technically born in the United States. And then, my grandfather, when he graduated from his master's program, they moved back to Colombia. So my mother was 2 years old, and she lived from 2 to 22 in Colombia, in the capital, Bogota. And she loved that culture, and she would always talk about it. And I remember when I was 6, she made a comment to me and said, whenever you're ready to go back, because I had already been to Colombia, I was 2, but she'll remember these things.
Yeah.
She goes, I will do everything in my power to make sure that you can. And that summer I want to go to Colombia. And my mom said, I'll get you a plane ticket. And when I landed in El Dorado, um, I remember getting off the tarmac, just getting onto the tarmac and putting my feet on the ground. Just like there was something about the wind in the air, the smell, everything. I said to myself, I am home.
Yeah.
And that's never changed in me. The essence of knowing that I'm an American citizen, but yet I come from somewhere else. And
That's
so that's definitely a big part of like me and my background and why we are where we are, why we're talking.
yeah.
So travel has always been engaged in part of me, we might have said some stuff off camera about being, Som, I've ever been a Som.
Yeah.
That's where I got into the business as a wine, as a Som. And I also, well, that's not true, but in the sense that I got into the business or really started my vocation in the wine. So I spent incredible time, a lot of time in Spain. I'm a Spanish wine
Mhm.
specialist. So, these are things that are very important to me, and travel is a big part of it. I'm glad that we're
Yeah.
talking.
I know, me too. Well, you and John definitely need to talk now because he loves Spanish wine. He like loves
We
Rio
might
wine.
know each other.
Honestly, I would not be surprised at this point. There's a lot of crazy synchronicities. He loves a lot of wines, but he just has something for Spanish wines, and that is so cool that you kind of have like a little bit of a specialty there. And so, w- after that trip to Colombia, because actually, correct me if I'm wrong, did you had kind of another recent trip to Colombia as well?
I just got back. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
back.
Okay. Talk to
I was
me.
there in
Okay.
May. The majority of the trip was spending time in Bogota in this fair. But one of the great things about being able to put together a business in which you have a lot of moving pieces and you have people that are help to support you and you have managers, you're able to sneak away. So
Yeah.
we snuck away, and we
Love that.
can do a lot of sneaking in Colombia in the sense that there's so much opportunity to, we call it la naturaleza, the naturalness of the country itself. So we went to Medellin,
Oh.
and it's the first time that I had been to Medellin since I was a teenager.
Hmm.
And Medellin, the trip blew me away because of the fact that I live in Oakland, California, or that I work and have 2 restaurants in Oakland, California, and that there's just there can be some of these negative connotations about Oakland, and we fight so hard to be like, dude,
Yeah.
Oakland is the dopest part of the Bay. It's the most
Yes.
inclusive, the greatest, the sweetest, the best weather, the best food, as according to Condé Nast,
Yeah.
all those things, right? And we were in Medellin, and the reason why I say that is I'm not sure if you're aware, but at one point in the time, Medellin was considered the most dangerous city in the world.
That's great. That's saying
Crazy.
a lot.
And so Medellin is broken up. It's broken up by numbers, like zone
Okay.
1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. And the most dangerous zone was zone 13, Comuna 13, which a lot of people think of MS-13, and that's not the Colombian aspect of it, but it
Okay.
has that similar notation if you think about it. And
Right.
so, we did a tour in Comuna 13, which you have to understand, we're talking 25 years later from when we're talking about the most dangerous, right? But I was still an adult 25 years,
Yeah.
sadly. But it is Comuna 13, and I listeners, you've got to look this up because Comuna 13 is the art capital of Colombia. And what it is Comuna 13, what they did was the president made a very, I'm not say I can't speak to the decision, but this happened 25 years ago. So you can talk
Mhm.
about what happened and then look at it from a point, hindsight's 2020. He made an honorable decision. He said, listen, drug lords, terrible people that have controlled this city. We're
Mhm.
going in with the military.
Mm.
We're taking them, we're arresting them, we're eradicating this situation. There were casualties, and we'll get to that in a second. Innocents, but they took back control of Medellin.
Wow.
And what happened was the community was devastated.
Mm.
And so the artists took to the streets and painted their pain.
Oh. I've chilled. Oh my God.
Everywhere. So this is the most graphic, beautiful expression of graffiti and art and love. And then what the government did was, you think of the fact that Colombia has hills and mountains. They put in outside escalators to go up this one part of these switchback, houses and all this. And that turned into shops and art studios and an art walk
Okay.
that's like
Yeah.
3 miles long. It's long shit.
Wow.
And it completely changed that community. And now 25 years later, it is the third most traveled city in the world.
Oh
Third,
my God.
it is considered the greenest city one of the greenest cities in the world. And it is a travel destination for the world. And it's really hard because I don't think that I could justify 148 lives
Mm.
to where we are now. And that part of it, the wall of the heroes, as they call them,
Mhm.
was so profound as I was sitting there looking at it saying, and I was thinking to myself, I'm a member of one of the founding members of the Oakland Restaurant Collective. It's the first restaurant collective that we have in the Bay Area. We're trying to create an association. We have 40 members.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, could my restaurants be a part of the casualty of the building of the foundation of Oakland?
Mm.
And I say that just because there has to be sacrifice for the greater good, I think, oftentimes there is sacrifice, right?
Definitely.
And it just, that those 2 days were just profound. And I want you to understand that, we're talking about like Disneyland style. There's a gorilla that has his hands out that's, 40 feet tall, and it's like, it's crazy. Like the art is just, it looks like Disneyland just out in the
In the wild.
in the wild of Medellin,
Oh my God.
and it's just
Sounds incredible.
that and the street food, and we get to all that
Yeah.
stuff, the
Oh,
inspiration
it's
of the
good.
elote, which is the corn, and the way that they do that, and it's just amazing. But that trip was life changing, and I came back to Oakland and I said, dude, we can do this, man. We're gonna do this,
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to be a part of, the mayor's campaign to really revitalize the city, and I'm just humbled to be here and to continue the story. And you're a big proponent of that at the moment, so thank you. But
Of course.
that trip was something very special. But there's a lot of other fun stories trips that I've taken.
I have no doubt.
You know,
We could probably be here all day.
there's
That's so inspiring though, and probably so humbling too. And it's one of the reasons we have this podcast is John and I have been so humbled by some of our travels. We know other travelers have been as well. And, certainly for those of us in kind of the food and drink and just travel industries, like we know the impact that, trips like this can have on whether it's our business, which I want to get to next, or just emotionally, right? Just growth as a human and just the way that we perceive life and understand things. And
That's exactly. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's why you do what you do, and that's why you're successful. And so
Yeah.
amazing. I would, just since I talked about Medellin, one thing I want to say about it, just because I'm a very important person. Like my mother was a teacher, so I always have to bring facts to everything.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Just for the listeners, Medellin is called la ciudad de eternal primavera. So it's the forever spring. That's what
Yeah.
the history of Medellin is, because it is always spring there. And that's the one thing that people don't understand about Colombia is that foreverness is that country. There are 5 microclimates, which we can get into when we talk about food and stuff like that. Comuna 13 is the transformation of that. It was considered the most dangerous neighborhood in the world. Yeah. And then, as I said, it became a symbol of social change, art, graffiti, and tourism. And I think that that's something important. The other thing about Medellin is that it's the only city in Colombia that has a metro. And they're so proud of that. They're so proud of their ability to do transportation and things like that. And I think that that is something that's amazing. And it was the first city to implement urban cable cars, which tie into the metro.
Wow, that is saying a lot, and I think these are things that we sometimes, like, kinda take advantage of, right? Or so in America, we all have our cars or, in Europe is so well connected, but, that's saying a lot, and from it's such a testament to, like, where they've been and where they are now and where they're going, and the work that had to go into that and of the sacrifice and just all you know what I mean? Like, it's heavy, but, like, light in a beautiful way, and, yeah, that sounds amazing. I definitely wanna to come back to Colombia because it's somewhere that I definitely wanna go, but of course, it's a little like Oakland. Sometimes there's reputations or people hear things that deter you, so definitely wanna come back to that, but I wanna get into your restaurants for sure because I think this is a perfect segue into it, and I would love to talk about just the creative process behind both of your restaurants. I wanna start with Parque here. But, just how you have so beautifully honored your heritage, but in this modern restaurant setting. I'd love to know why you also chose Oakland as well, but yeah, just talk to me about Parquet and like just what it means to you and just a little bit of the history when it opened, what people can expect when they go there and all the things.
So I signed the lease in 2023, in August of 23. We opened January 13th of 2024. Uh, the the restaurant itself, Parche, the restaurant itself,
Parche.
it means Parche in Colombian culture means your place, the group of people that you spend time with. It's a verb, it's a noun.
Oh, I love
I
that.
like if I were to if when I see your husband and it's like, oh my God, we know each other, I would be like, "Cuo, parce," like that's like our way of saying like my brother, like it's good to see you again. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
that's
Like that
awesome. Yeah.
recognition. Parcero is another version of like, oh, you're a Colombian parcero, and vamos al parche means like let's go to the place, let's go to Cheers, let's go to the art bar, let's go hang out. Vamos a parchar means like we're gonna go get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these are really cool expressions. So
That
parche is
camaraderie.
the
Yeah.
idea of the place, right?
Yeah.
And so I was I've I've been in the restaurant industry now, 27, 28 years. I've opened this Parche was the first restaurant that I owned, but that was number 27 restaurant that I opened, and then Jaji's number 28.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so been involved in the business for a long time.
Yeah.
And I opened Parche coming out of the pandemic. Everybody, we never closed. Had Canal Bistro Wine Bar, which is still open. It's going on, I think, year 12 or 13. I was there for 6 years. Matt Schuster, chef owner. I love him to death. He's my brother, and he's probably the only Texan that I like. No, I'm from DC. That's a Cowboys comment.
Mhm.
Um, but uh, we did not close during the pandemic. We were the first ones to create kits and sell them like literally day two. And it was my wife.
Smart,
It wasn't just
smart.
me, it was my wife that was able to make this happen. She's always been my owner, like my partner in everything, which is why we'll talk about the second restaurant and what it is. But basically, we were coming out of the pandemic and but we weren't seeing guests, right? So I was like thinking to myself, I can't wait till all these restaurateurs have, because I have all these ideas about what we're going to do and how we're going to redefine it. And we're going to create hospitality again. And what is hospitality? And
Yeah.
forget masks. So everybody else talks about my hair, but maybe one day they'll talk about my face, kind of a thing. And it's like, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what happened when we first opened. When we first reopened the worlds, right? Everybody was like, this is weird. I don't want to be outside. It's too sunny. Why are people too next to me? I don't like people. And I said to myself, holy shit, like this is not acceptable. I told him, I said, listen, man, I want to expand. I want to do some stuff. And he's, I think I said, I think we have a lot of opportunity. He goes, I don't want to take that risk. And so I said to myself, no, that's it. I'm done. Can't not own my own place. I want to do my own thing. And that's where Parche came out of. And the idea of Parche was I wasn't going to do Spanish because that's what I've done for so long. And, it was time to move on.
Okay.
And I was talking to my partner and he goes, dude, let's do Colombia. He goes, he's like, dude, you want to honor your parents. You want to honor your mom. Your mom's been dead for 13 years. You miss her so much. Like, this could be cathartic. Could be an
Yeah.
opportunity to do something special.
And you're so connected to it.
So many recipes. We have so many things. I'm a Colombian caterer, kind of thing. And so we did. And we opened in January, and to be put on the Michelin Guide, in April of that month, like 3 months later, it was insane. It was insane. And I feel blessed, and I've never felt, it's been 2.5 years that we've been open. I honor my mother every single day. Parché is a magical place. I mean, it is like going into Encanto and being completely transformed. The art that we're always evolving that space, and the art and the idea of magical realism and Gabriel Garcia Marquez and all these things. I mean, that's it. And because that's what food is.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I believe that when you walk into my restaurant, you go, wow, that's beautiful. Oh my God, these flavors are delicious. And I don't know if I could recreate this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably could, but I don't know if I could do it in time for it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's who I am. That's the ethos of our business, right? People want to be transformed.
Yes.
I think more importantly, though, people want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be seen in a restaurant. And so our job is to see them.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's actually what I'm best at.
Yeah.
To
Oh, I
see
believe it.
people,
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think when you start to see the world differently and open your horizons and we all kind of get out of our box, and then I can empathize with losing I've lost both of my parents as well, and it's just there's just these things in life that we go through, and these experiences that it just opens our eyes, right? But I think for those of us who really appreciate the storytelling and it's truly feeling like you are walking in someone's door and you could be in Colombia, right? Or there's maybe a little bit of escapism there, some healthy escapism. And it's such a magical experience. And, some restaurants do that better than others, but I think when it's something that is so soulfully you, and just again, like, this is your heritage for sure, but then just that visceral feeling that you were mentioning that you got when you landed in Colombia again, and it was just undeniable. Like, that comes through in all aspects, I would imagine, of your restaurant, from the decor to the flavors to the
to the
ambiance, all of
service, to
it.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my mother is an active. So you saying that, we're both a member of an exclusive club that we both don't want to be a member of.
No,
And my heart goes out to you.
mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Both are, to lose both your own. I have one grandparent that's still alive. My grandmother, the one that had 14 children, she's 97. I go see her
Good for her.
every time I can. She's in DC. She's surrounded by nothing but love.
Oh,
She had a scare. I have to say that, we have experienced the hardest death. But when she goes for me,
oh,
that's going to be devastating, because
yeah.
I don't know about you, but that will mean that I'm the oldest in my upline, right?
That's
And
wild.
that is crazy.
Yes.
So what do you think about? You think about legacy, and you think about
Yes.
the foundational layers of who you are and what you want to leave in this lasting world, right?
Mm-hmm.
That may get remembered for a generation.
Yeah.
My grandmother, 14 children, 51 grandchildren, 79 great grandchildren. She might as well be Charlemagne. And like, that's legacy.
That's crazy.
Legacy, right?
Oh,
And
God.
so think about the impact and the love that I have, that people
Yeah.
have for this woman, right? And she is not grandma, she is grandmother, and never and anything else.
Yes.
a Southern debutante. You know what I'm saying?
I love
I
that.
speak Spanish fluently because she lived for 40 years in Colombia. And but and so what and so just understand that like my mother was a traveler in her mind. She was the
Mm.
smartest person that I've ever met. She could analyze and connect with anything and everything instantly, almost like a computer, right? She was like the first AI, in my opinion. She had a doctorate, a master's, 60, a BS. She never stopped going to
Wow.
school. That my therapy, I would, if you were my therapist, you would say, obviously you had a mother complex, I was dyslexic. I didn't understand that I was good at school, but I was incredible at sports. I never felt good enough.
Mm.
Um, but the last words that my mother said to me have been the ethos of my life and is the ethos of my restaurants. The last thing that my mom said to me as she was dying of cancer was, my death will be the greatest thing that ever happened.
Oh, wow.
And it has been. And what I mean by that is that if there's one thing that my mother has that gave me and taught me, is to love humans,
Mhm.
humanity, and people.
Mhm.
And if you can just hear me say that, who do you think? My mother only had one son. So who do you think her favorite person was? And so when she passed away, all of that love didn't go. It went out into the world.
Yes.
And what
Yeah.
she meant by that was, and we know because we have children,
Yeah.
right? You're still in the, I really love this kid phase.
Oh, yeah.
Wait until
Totally.
they say no. And then you're like,
Yeah.
wait, do you mean
Wow.
yes? And you're like, no. Yes. You said the wrong word, you
Yeah.
know? And so that love is out there. And when I need it, I call on it.
Mhm.
Ever since we've opened Parché, hey, the love,
Um,
the love. I had one of the roughest days yesterday, just rough day, rough day. And it was 10 o'clock at night. And my wife's like, we haven't eaten. And we walk into a restaurant bar that was open late, and I hadn't been in yet. We were in Oakland, and I sat down and with my beverage director, myself, and my wife, and they came over and they're like, Chef, we're honored to have you in here. I just want to let you know what your restaurants mean to us and our community and who we
oh,
are. We're just proud to be there. It's my favorite restaurant. This is incredible. And I just want and dude, when I'm at my lowest, that happens all the time.
yeah. Isn't that incredible how
And
that
and that's not why we do it, but I
Yeah.
feel blessed
Yeah.
that the community it's my community,
Mhm.
right? I want Oakland to be Parché. Oakland is my Parché, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. We all deserve to have some of that in our life, and it really does fill our cup in ways that I think we don't even know that we need, and with social media and which, we're so disconnected, I think, nowadays in a lot of ways from humanity, from ourselves, from lots of things. And so to be able to have a space where people can come together and still have that community component in that space for connection, like it's always been important, but now more than ever, I think
Now
it
more than ever. I mean, the tangible, the textures, right? Being able to
Yes. Yeah.
being able to touch, and
Yeah.
just connect. Like,
Yep.
so, I think that one of the things that when it comes to travel and you go around the world and you spend a lot of time in places that are raw, real,
Mhm.
kindness is something that is ingrained in all cultures, right? Hospitality. But I think that one of the things that I think that people don't realize when they travel is that they're so outside of, they have to have the confidence and the wherewithal to be able to be in that space and to be out of their realm. And I think that one of the things that we lack in our society right now is an inner confidence, an inner ability to do what we need to do and step out into the world and like be focused and commit and do the 8 things on our list that we need to get done. Right.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then that will allow us to be kind, because we need to first be kind to ourselves, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I when I traveled around the world, dude, it's this. I've never been anywhere where I felt little or no hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
except for New York. But it's more of a jab, you know. But but you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's like that, and that's something that's super important. And I think that, but it's like it's the confidence that one carries and the what they exude. But it's also the eye contact and the smiling and saying like
Yeah.
hello, konnichiwa, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever, ¿Qué cómo estás, qué más, ¿Qué
Yeah.
parcero, that kind of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's important for us to be able to connect, and I think that that's something about travel that has always been so inspiring.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah. And then
Definitely.
the
And the
food.
food, of course. Well, that's perfect because I want to talk about your second restaurant now as well, and just a whole other culture here and how that came about. So, talk to us a little bit about restaurant number two.
Restaurant number two happened because there we have a landlord owner that told me, he goes, listen, dude, I've known you since the day that you landed in California. I've been following your who you are, and I have a space that I think that would be amazing for you, and I want you to be a part. I want you to kind of expand. And I looked at him, I said, Linda, we're like a year into my restaurant. I ain't got no time for nothing. I barely saw you on the street because I was ready to go get bread. I got time for you. And he goes, leave for your space. And I said, okay, fine. And I walked into the space and I said, oh, right.
You're like, damn it, here I go again.
I mean, this is a Ferrari, right? I was like, this is like a Ferrari. It's the greatest space I've ever seen in my entire
Oh
life.
my God.
And so, obviously the rest is history. But when we first were thinking about it, I said, now's the time for Mediterranean. Now's the time for coming back to Spanish. Let's do this, because Parché is a tapas restaurant. It's a small plates restaurant. It is the way that I think everyone should eat. When they go out, they should be like, they should look at the table next to them and be like, hey, do you want to share a plate? Like, that's my dream.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, dude, it's familiar. You get to taste more things. You get
Yes.
flavors. It's like, dude, everyone has order envy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, we have it with spouses. We have it with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it doesn't, like, we're like, I'm like, you always want to,
A little taste of what you can
you need a
have.
taste of something, right?
Yeah. I
And
love the
so,
variety. It's so true. Yeah.
and so what better than the Mediterranean?
Mhm.
Well, I'm Latin. My
Mhm.
wife is Asian, right? She's Afghani. And so and Parché is such a letter to my beautiful wife. Just walked in.
Oh, did it?
It's
Perfect timing.
It's perfect timing. Such a love letter to my culture. Mediterranean didn't make sense. It didn't. It wasn't the right thing, and so we knew that Parché was something special, and we really knew that when we were about to start releasing the idea of the second restaurant, and the Chronicle was like, we want the first dibs. We want
Wow.
to write the exclusive. So tell us about it. So she was going to be the face of the second business.
Mhm.
And so she, and one, because, our first year in business, I was named one of the 100 faces of Oakland. And year two, she was named one of the 100 faces. So it was like, this is just all the synergy, everything beautiful, right? And so she looked at me, she said, dude, it's not Mediterranean. I'm not Mediterranean. Like, we're not.
Right. This is not aligned.
Yes, your story is that you're a Mediterranean chef.
Yeah.
But like, it's
not mine.
So I said, and I looked at her and I said, listen, I know what you're gonna say. I've been dying for you to say this and to make this happen, because we've been holding on to this forever. Let's do it. And she's like, I want to do after. And I said, let's go.
Done.
Because the Bay Area has the largest community of Afghans outside of Germany and Afghanistan. When you think about contemporary takes on Afghan food and the style in which we have done what we've done, there ain't none. Right? There are for example, there are 2 restaurants from Colombia that are in the top 100 best restaurants in the world. Like Colombia is starting to get there, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
Afghanistan isn't even part of that conversation. And you want to talk about 4,000 years of flavors and ideas and
Oh,
the
yeah.
unconquerable and all this stuff. Like there's no brainer, the Silk Road and every aspect of all of that, right?
Mhm.
And as you can pretty much aware so far in this conversation, I might be a little bit of a storyteller. So
I love it.
so
We're here for it.
that is the second concept, right? It's contemporary Afghan, the way that the Parché is a contemporary Colombian restaurant. And it's the story of my wife's culture, my wife's heritage,
Mhm.
because unfortunately, unlike me, to date, she's never been to Afghanistan, right?
Mm.
She's an American-born Afghan.
Mhm.
Her grandparents and parents had to flee in '82,
Yeah.
right? And so there's a rich story there. And,
Very. Yeah.
and one of the things that is most important is, and I think that you might relate to this way more than I, because I'm not one of those people that can, we're just different, but uh, the story of Jaji is an Afghan woman who doesn't have a voice in her country, but has a voice in the Bay and in
Mm.
California. And that voice is louder and stronger and louder than any other voice.
Beautiful.
And that's why, you know, there really isn't, I'm not mentioned, right? The only thing, the nod to me is with Sophie Akbar,
Right.
co-owner, right?
Right.
We don't
Yeah.
necessarily focus on the fact that like I'm the chef of the restaurant or that, that part of it. It's not what it's about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not about,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. My ego's like, it's about, you know what I'm saying?
It's
But,
just like you're the brains behind this, but yeah.
but, but, but it's not about,
Yeah.
never going to be about.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Because
what makes it beautiful. And there, Sarah, you know, I'm really bad with names, but there's a great writer for the infatuation, SF infatuation. And when she interviewed us, she goes, these aren't like co-restaurants. This is like a married restaurant, like husband and wife restaurant that are married. The restaurants are married. Like this is so
so
cool.
cool.
It's like so hip, but like they're so similar, but yet so different, you know?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's what we wanted to do. And they're 1 block from each other.
I was gonna say they're so close. Yeah. I
Yes.
saw that.
And so it's like, it's crazy. Like one of my favorite things is like, you come in and you bring your husband and, obviously naturally, him and I'll connect instantly. Right. And so you have dinner at Parche and then I take you over to Jaji for dessert. That's my favorite.
I love
Or
that.
it's the reverse, right?
Right, right, right.
It's like, it's just fun. And
That
that's the whole
synergy.
idea behind it. It's like that passport. It's like the travel aspect of it. It's like, get up, we're going to go eat somewhere else. You know?
Yes. Oh,
It's
we're
like,
so here for
that
that.
doesn't happen,
No, not enough. Not yeah. Not in a
you
way
know?
that's really meaningful. As we start to wrap up, I would love just some final thoughts from you on building and sustaining these restaurant concepts that's just rooted in identity and intention and why that's important to you as a chef, as a restaurateur and and as a storyteller. And I love the fact that you hone in on the story. And I think like now more than ever, it's really interesting working kind of on the marketing side as I do. Like I think so many brands and so many, yeah, I guess brands focus a lot on the product and what the product is and the perks of the product, if you will. But like that's not really what people are resonating with anymore. At least not right now. They want the story. They want authenticity. They want a face behind the name. And so in your world, if you will, why is that identity and again like that intention and the storytelling? You've touched on this a little bit already, but any final thoughts you want to share on why that's so impactful and or just how you've seen it impact your community or anyone that, comes
Think of
visits your
think of it
restaurants?
from the idea of the sports standpoint, right?
Mm,
There are rules in sports.
yeah.
There are rules. there is a foundation, there is a pitch, there's a field, there is, and there are, in football, there are 11 people on this side, 11 people on that side. Why do I say it? The rules dictate the creativity. The rules dictate the game.
Sure.
And so when you make the rules for what you're building and your brand, the more authentic, the more real that you make them, the easier the creativity, the more difficult the accountability.
Sure. Yeah.
But the easier the creativity, the easier the direction. Because you have a foundation.
That makes total sense. Yeah.
It's very simple to say, Jaji is not this.
Yeah.
Parché is not that. Chef, this plate is amazing. How is it cooked?
Yeah.
How is this? What is the story behind this drink? How has it inspired you? What did you do to make this cocktail? What's the story? And how did it start with the country?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely. From just the local ingredients, the seasonal ingredients. I mean, I think that's one of the things I love about food and cuisine and what people in each culture have created. It goes so far back. And that's what's so beautiful also about Afghan, cuisine as well. Like again, you just mentioned a couple times, like just the history, what was or wasn't available and like how that has been translated and carried through so many generations, and just that interconnectivity and the family, the camaraderie, all these things that we've talked about today. It's just, when it's done right, it is magical.
It is. It absolutely is. And, just to put a final pin in your point, we wouldn't be talking, in a sense, if it wasn't for the fact that the foundational aspects of my businesses are about restaurants that are destination countries.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's like and so everything happens through. That is the most connected part of what we do,
Yeah.
right? Is the natural connection, whether it be with our partnerships or our collaborations or the promotions or the marketing aspect.
Yeah.
That's it. And so so to me, if somebody's going to create something, you need to make it as real as possible. And it's not about I don't want to say it's not about the marketability and the sustainability and the cash in value. That's not what I'm saying.
Those are
I'm saying
factors.
that
Yeah.
the product and the idea of the product has to be real.
Yeah. People have to resonate with it. They want to resonate with it. Like I said, I think people are, again, more than ever, are seeking that out, whether they're aware of it or not. And so
I think that that's everything that we should do. We didn't get a chance to talk about this, but maybe one day when you come to visit, why you started your podcast. I find that so intriguing, right?
Yeah.
If there's a real story, fine.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. It's deep. I mean, I guess at the very high level, surface level, it's our love of food and drink and travel and things like that. But it goes deeper. There's a true love story there. Literally between my husband and I, and just how we've bonded over it. 3 months after dating, we went to Italy together and we're living at a winery from the 1700s for 3 months. It's like, like who does that?
3 days after dating?
3 months. Did I say 3 days? 3 months after dating. Started dating. We're dating for 3 months. And then, because I was just like, I had just gotten back from Italy and I was like, I want to go back. And I was like hesitant to even get involved with him because this is like the running joke. But he was like, I'd consider going with you. And I was like, this is on our first date, by the way. And I was just like, okay, I think most people would maybe be a little creeped out by that, but I'm actually very intrigued. And so we've just joked from day one. It's some of our best memories are over shared beverages, alcoholic and not, shared meals in places that were just like, I can't believe we're actually here. And just, whether that's locally or abroad. And many are abroad, but like there's also so much greatness where we are and in our backyard and everything, especially in the Bay Area. This is one hell of a place to be. So yeah, I mean, at the again highest level, that's really what it is for us. But and we know there's so many other people out there like yourself that have had similar experiences, or whether it's a very different experience, but like you take away something so profound, and it's hard to ignore. It's food and drink and travel. It does change your life if
It does.
let
It
it
does.
in. And yeah.
And the travel aspect of it inside the United States, outside the United States, sometimes it's hard to love your home,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I'm prideful, and
Yeah.
I love it, and I love it for all the reasons why I live in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Don't want to go there, but I love it, and I believe in it, and I love this country, and I love the fact that I live in California, and I'm from Washington D.C., and I'm from the land of monuments. But
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about what you just said, and you talked about like the realness, and you kind of wanted to check yourself, you can't fake, because we're talking about the narrative and all that stuff. You can't fake 500 years of going to 500 years of history where you're in Florence and you go to a coffee shop and you're sitting there eating X, Y, and Z, and and his father always cooked it, but it was taught by his father's 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 father. Do you know
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
family. You can't
I know.
you can't fake that, nor
Right.
can you replicate it. And you
Yep.
find that all over the world. And
Yeah.
and that's something that's super important. And that's also kind of why you had that aha moment
Mm-hmm.
about it, right?
Lots of aha moments.
And
Yeah.
then
We talk
that's
about that
why
all the
everyone's
time.
like, dude, Bourdain was the man.
Yes.
Bourdain saw the world. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Big Bourdain fans.
And I'm not trying to take away from what we do in the United States.
No, of course, but
I,
it's apples to oranges, right? You can't
it's
compare the two.
apples to oranges.
Yeah.
I will say, when people say, well, what do you drink when you drink wine? And I say, I'm definitely European to Syrian to go all over that part of the world. And people are like, well, what about the US? And I say, listen, I go, of course, honor all of it. I will never not. I live in California where I live because I'm 35 minutes away from Napa and Sonoma, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's pretty amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've been making rosé in Napa for 50 years, and she's been making rosé in Provence Romana for 25 centuries.
Perfect.
It's like,
Yeah, it's just not even. Yeah, you appreciate each one for what they are,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Like,
it's not a knock. I'm just saying that
yeah,
it's like, dude,
perspective. Like,
you should go see that perspective, and it gives you a chance to appreciate both.
exactly, exactly for what they are. Absolutely. Paul, this has been such a pleasure getting to know you, your story, how you have created these two incredible restaurants. Can you tell us, like, if people want to connect with you, learn more about you or your restaurants, where can they find you? And again, like certain, handles of the restaurants and links and everything will be in the show notes too. But if someone wants to learn more and get in touch, where can they
Yeah,
find you?
so we're in now what is called the North Lake District in Oakland, California.
Okay.
It was originally Uptown Oakland, but it's now called North Lake.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to find us in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
RJ is on Broadway as well as Jaji.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can find us both of our Instagrams. It's Parché OAK,
Mm-hmm.
Jaji OAK. Our
Perfect.
Instagram handles. And we're here, we're there. And if anybody that's listening here wants to come join us and reach out, please do, because I would love to honor the fact that you found us through you,
Mm-hmm.
and we can have a conversation about it, and
Oh yeah,
that's the most important thing.
definitely. But it's what it's all about, right? That's the community, the coming together and all of it. Well, Paul, thank you again so much for your time today. I certainly learned a lot. I could talk to you about Colombia for another hour, probably. I have so much I'd want to ask you, but you gave us a lot to think about today. So really, really appreciative of your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us and tuning into the Taste Toast Travel Podcast. We really appreciate you being here and hope you're enjoying these honest conversations about all things sipping, savoring, and seeing the world. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, we would truly appreciate a rating or a review on whatever platform you're tuning in on, so fellow foodies, Epicureans, and travel enthusiasts can enjoy this content too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a follow at Taste Toast Travel. We'll see you in the next episode.